Hello, my name is Steven Anderson. You might know me as Smartest online on any of the social media platforms. I'm a live streamer with the ZBrush live stream team. It's kind of fun. It's a really great experience, and I love working with these guys. I want to talk to you today about a quick tip and trick that I developed as part of my strategy, my sculpting strategy for the ZBrush Live Sculpt Off in 2016. You can see here with this model of the fishbot that I made as part of the beta team on ZBrush 4R8. One of the cool features that was rolled out with that section of ZBrush was live Booleans. And the Booleans were really nice because it allowed me to cut pieces out of larger pieces. And I was able to use ZRemesher to get a nice clean mesh. It works really well with open meshes, and it was able to respect a lot of those holes really well. Well, I want to go through and show you a couple of those tricks today. In our scene, we have a few pieces that we're going to go ahead and put together in the live Booleans process. Now, you can see I have several things. I have one large central piece here, this sphere. I have these other sphere bits right here that I'm going to be using to, let me get my right hotkeys here. These other spheres, so here's my main sphere that I'll be keeping. This sphere, which I'm going to turn to negative like I've done with the other pieces. So now what's going to happen is that if I come up here to Live Boolean, turn that on, you'll see this is what I'm getting. I'm getting this interesting kind of looking piece. And you can do this with all sorts of different, very sculpted and specific controlled pieces as you wish to. But I'm going to use just very simple geometry here for the sake of the trick. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up and I'm going to select in my Booleans. Let's actually make sure we have dynamic mode turned on for all of these. That way we get the smoothest shapes possible. Okay. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to say Boolean with dynamic subdiv. And once that goes through and runs, you'll see it's created this new piece for us. And you can see all the different polygroups from where it is that the different pieces were intersecting. Okay, that's great. I only care, for this particular technique, I only care about this red polygroup. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to go down to Geometry, Modify Topology, and Delete Hidden. So now I have just this piece right here. What I want to do is I want to come into my ZRemesher, and by default these are your settings. Okay, very simple little settings here. I'm going to turn off Adapt. That's one of the things I almost always do. Adapt will go through and kind of make your polygon sizes different depending on what it is that it's modifying. It'll bring edges closer together for peaks, and it'll spread it out for flat areas. This tight area would get a lot of edge flow going through there, and I don't really want that, so we're going to turn that off. I want to take my polygon count, this target polygon count, I'm going to put 1. What that's saying is just aiming for 1,000 polygons, and if we hit ZRemesher, you see it gives us a much better result. So you can see it's going through and it's establishing loops, which is great. Okay, that's something that we want. And you can also see that really, I mean, it's establishing loops around these holes. It's keeping our corners tight. Okay, it's a really fantastic thing for us. So now what we can do, we can keep this or we can modify it if we wanted to. I like to have my 5-pointed stars all in the same row, so it's something really easy. This is offset by 1, so I'm just going to go ahead and say collapse polyloop. Just collapse that down. So now my 5-pointed stars, they're all in that same loop. Really simple. Now what I can do is I can come over, I can say masking. I'm just going to say mask by features. If you want to control this, you can. You just go over here and you select, border groups, crease, however you want to control it. I'm just going to make sure I mask out areas that I don't want to have smoothed out. And now let's go ahead and say deformation, polish, and now we have nice, smooth, clean mesh. I might make my brush nice and big, maybe bring my Z intensity down. Okay, and just kind of do a little bit of relaxed smoothing through here. Okay, through here, I mean, we have some areas, since we deleted that extra edge loop, we're just going to go ahead and use our slide function with ZModeler, bring it over, bring this over. That way we're just kind of, you know, cozying out these little spots, okay? Really simple, really nice. And now we have topology that we can work with in order to make some shell. And we have nice clean topology that will allow us to, you know, say for instance, maybe I wanted to add, let's do this. I'm going to say with the select lasso, I'm going to come over here, maybe select these two pieces, Control A. Oh, you know what? One more. Control A. Let's go ahead, Control W right there. So what I'm going to do, let's grab this poly loop right here. I'm going to scale it together. Yeah, let's turn on local symmetry so that it scales in its spot. Kind of bring it out a little bit so that it's following that curvature on the top. And then we'll just kind of smooth out around it so that way we get the nice even topology with a better arc. Even this out here at the bottom, and we should be good. So what I can do now is I can use my ZModeler stuff to be able to go ahead and create extra detail. I can say extrude polygroup island. I can just kind of pull that out. I don't like having this say delete polygroup island here on the inside so that it remains single-sided. Okay. And so you see, like, we're able to go through and add some cool details really pretty quickly. We can come through if we wanted to. We could say split point. Say maybe we want to add a cool ridge running along through here. Maybe we just go through. We select these. Now, I mean, it looks really weird going like this. Now, don't get me wrong. It's really kind of interesting. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say collapse edge. This up to here. This up to here. You can see now we've got this trench that we can build out. Let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll say geometry crease. I want to uncrease all. But then what I can do is I can say crease PG to be able to make sure that I have creases just around these polygroup changes. Okay, so really important, really useful too. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and let's say extrude. We're going to say polygroup island. And there we go. Okay, so either we can do things like that, or we can go ahead and we can get rid of those. One of the things I like to do too is I'll go ahead and I'll add like little spots like that for a little light, and then I'll come in with my custom-made insert mesh primitives brush, okay, and I will bring my brush to the right size, and then control click and drag. Well, not control click and drag, click and drag, and then hit control, and then it snaps to the size of the brush. So now it's like you have your own little LED light inside of this piece. So whatever it is that you go through and create, you have nice even topology that's going to play well when you smooth it out. Okay, this is really, really nice. And if I wanted to, I could even go ahead and say, let's come over here to this piece and we'll say, let's delete a single poly, just because we're using the temporary poly group, it acts like a single poly. Delete that. Now that we have this, we can come over and we can say, let's say extrude. I'm going to say extrude all polygon. Oh, let's extrude island because that'll be a little bit better. We'll extrude that, and I'm going to extrude it inward. You'll see that it's like, it's essentially looking kind of weird. I want to fix this by going through either I can come over here with my, this is going to be the easiest way, by the way, flip faces, island, and you just flip it. Or you can come down here to your display properties and use flip. But you only want it, it's going to affect anything that's visible. So it's really important to keep that in mind. So now that we have this, I can come over here and I can say Let's check this area. It looks like we have some interesting creasing issues. So we're going to say crease, 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 crease. So now it's going to hold that shape. And it's going to hold that shape. And that's looking great. Let's get over here. Let's get this as well. Get these. Okay, now I don't like having creases be that sharp. So I can go through and I can say, let's bring my crease tolerance down to 2 or 3 or something like that. And then we can take our smooth subdivisions up, just higher than that. So you get a nice little rounded bit to the edge. Or if you wanted to, you could also play with your Q grid. You can play with other different features, the bevel, things like that, to be able to get that crease to look the way that you want it to. So yeah, it's a great tool to play with, super flexible, and it's applicable to a wide range of things, from robots to vehicles to props to even characters. It leaves you some cleanup, but it's okay. Don't be afraid of cleanup. It's important to to be able to clean it up when you need to. So hope you enjoyed that tip, and I hope you can find good use for it in your personal production workflow. I'm Steven Anderson, and I'll see you around the summit.